Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1592. I am Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Castro Valley, Mont. The last place on earth today. Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. We have so much to get to today. Earlier in this week, I was not feeling very up. I was not feeling good. And now, by here, Thursday, I'm feeling okay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I love it when weird things happen to me. Well, I don't like it too weird, if you know what I'm saying.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But yesterday, I encountered a bunch of strange neighborhood kids. And this is some of the weird stuff they did. There was some kids that are rather roly-poly fat. I know I was one when I was young. I was a big son. My mom fed me a lot. My grandmother fed me a lot. I was fat.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That being said, these two fat kids were in front of my house, and I wanted to take a nap after my long day.
Mike's
waking up early and whatnot.
Daily
And they were making all this noise.
Podcast.
They were whistling really loud and screaming and being like total a-hole kids. And by that I mean amazing hole. Because there's an amazing hole in the ground where the rabbit came out of Alice in Wonderland.
Anarchy! I don't even know what that means, but I love it!
I don't even know what that means. But there were two kids, and they had this look who just walked in. Hello, Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, your shop supervisor. Oh my God, I'm interrupting you right in the middle of your story. You are. The story is awesome, Chely. No, it's not. It's okay. Oh, Chely. What am I gonna do, Chely? I mean, I'm trying to do the story, Chely. What kind of accent is that, Mike Matthews? It's a West Texas. I don't know. Look who else walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Wow, you're getting to the show a little late today. 5:43, yeah. Wow. Will I have time to do the whole show? I don't know. How come there's a... What's that all about? Are you single? And you're looking for women? Go to the bathroom, the women's bathroom, and it says women right in front of the door. It's gold.
And here's today's podcast picture.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
I don't know. So the two fat kids, I don't have pictures of them, but they've got this broken down Western Flyer tricycle, I think, or maybe it was looks like it was a piece of a wagon, and they're ripping it apart and throwing it around, and then they just leave it in front of my house.
Anyway.
Stupid kids.
You've got to be kidding me.
They are insane.
Are you out of your mind?
And I go and pick up one of the pieces, and it's full of oil. And the oil just drips out, and it's disgusting. And these stupid kids. So I dismantle it, and I throw it out, and stupid kids. So then I'm walking my wonderful dog, Basile the boxer, and we come upon this one area where I told you about. Basile was sniffing, and the guy he banged on the window, and he's like giving me this look like, come on, get off my lawn. And his lawn is tiny. Like, you can just be absolutely on the wrong, maybe you took one step a little to the left and you're on his lawn. And, like, there's no room for error. You're going to be on his lawn, is what I'm saying. So he's got this huge, like, labradoodle barking away on the front of his lawn, just totally, like, tied up, barking away at us. I think he's a jerk. I always flip him off when I walk past, but I do it subversively or subliminally. Like, I always bring water for my dog, Basile the boxer, because I don't want him to get dehydrated. Because we'll walk very far, and he gets hot, and he's a boxer, and they need water. So as I'm holding the bottle, I got my middle finger up, and I hold it up, like in the air toward. There was a Jerry Seinfeld story about that, where the waitress is talking to George Costanza and pointing to the menu, and she's flipping him off, and George is like, "Did you see that? She flipped me off. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold."
That's gold, Jerry. Gold!
That wasn't George Costanza. That was Banya. But now we get to the part where we're walking past that house, and there's this little kid. I've called him Simon all of his life, and then he recently corrected me and said, "No, my name's Stanley." Oops. Oh.
Go!
And so he told me, so I see Stanley, and he's probably, I would say, 10, and he's on his little scooter, and he says to me, "I gotta go number 2, but my parents aren't home yet." What am I supposed to do with that? What do I go, "Oh, shoot. Well, we're not that far from his school." I go, "Your school bathrooms are probably open." And he said, "Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go over there." And, I mean, the school is closer to him than my house would be. To let the kid into my house to use my bathroom, I mean, that's okay, right? When you gotta go, you gotta go. So, but he goes off on his scooter over to the school to do his number 2. But his parents weren't home yet. I told him as he was riding away, I go, "By the time you come back, maybe your parents will be home." His dad is tall. His dad is also named Mike, and we get into these long conversations about, he used to have a boxer. So when he sees Basile the boxer, he gets all wistful, and he remembers it back to the day of when he had a boxer. And he lived around Lake Merritt, and apparently the dog got loose one night when the dog was very old and started walking around Lake Merritt because the dog, I guess, had gotten senile at that point. And yeah, oh, so sad when the dogs get old. But Basile's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. I've just started giving him fish oil. That, along with the glucosamine and the chondroitin, should help him last a little bit longer, I'm hoping. He's only 9. He could get older. He could get up to 15. I meet 15-year-old dogs all the time. So, but he's had a great life thus far, and all you can do is give him. They're not here for very long, dogs. They're not here. And as a dog owner, you just got to give them the best life you can and enjoy them as much as you can. And I think I've done that, so I'm comfortable with that. But I'd like to point out something which is not the podcast picture yet, which I'm working on it. Gosh, dang the pressure. Oh, maybe I'll post this picture. That now, there are these little wildflowers blooming around on the trail where I walk, Basile the boxer. And right now, and you can't see it in the photo, so I'm not going to post this picture. Everything is these little wildflowers. They're tiny, tiny little wildflowers, but there's a whole bunch of them. And some of them are yellow and some of them are purple. It's very nice. It's very Eastery right now. So it fits the countryside. Looks like the little Easter bunny is jumping around and looks very Eastery. Can we talk about Katy Perry's song Last Friday? Oh, one other thing. My roommate got a little treat from one of his clients. He works with kids, like autistic children, and works with... This show is all about children today, as you know. But he helps them out. He develops good relationships with the families, and one of the families gave him this, I think it's an Asian food. It's something wrapped in these big grape leaves, or maybe they're banana leaves. And it's rice, beans, and then they put a sausage in it. I don't know what nationality, what country this comes from. Ooh, Greta Hausman's on C-SPAN. So lovely. Greta Bronner. I always do that. Greta Bronner. And so I ate this. Yes, I attempted to eat this yesterday. Oh my God, the most richest thing you've ever eaten. Excuse me. I died just now just thinking about it. I just died on your podcast tonight. No, that wouldn't be good. That's Cutting Crew. I used to listen to that album over and over again. It was amazing. The song, I've been in love before. I've been in love before. Hardest part is when you're in it. Broadcast. It's called Broadcast. It's an interesting album. Very poppy 80s stuff. But if you like If I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, Cutting Crew, they were kind of a one-hit wonder. And actually, they had 2 albums. I think they had 3. But the one album got really popular. It had a great song on it called... And the band, they played one more song, one for the mockingbird. They played one more song. How the dreams. I used to love that video because they shot it like you're going through the TV, and the TV's flickering and fluttering, and you go through that TV into another TV, and it was just this constantly moving and saturation of light and sound and video. And it was at a time in the mid-'80s where videos were getting a little boring. Honestly, I mean, Michael Jackson videos were cool because he was dancing and stuff, but I used to not this one again. I cannot watch The Way You Make Me Feel again with his weird ponytail. No, we're not going to do this. I'm not going to watch this.
Go!
But back to that.
No.
Cutting Crew. No. Cutting Crew? Why was I talking about Cutting Crew? Oh, one. What do you call it? One hit wonders, or the Wonders. That Thing You Do, which was a movie about That Thing You Do. Was about one hit wonder bands and what causes the bands to dissolve. And there was a band I just recently heard about called The Floaters. And I had there was a band called The Floaters. They had a top number 1 song, a song called Float On. And it was kind of a slow groove, like, yeah, baby, my name's Mike. And if I took you out, it'd be a beautiful night. Pop, 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 pop. Kind of like, have you seen her? Pop, pop, pop. Had that kind of rhythm to it. One hit. That was it. They disappeared. And a guy I know who had worked with bands like Al Jarreau's band and others, he said to me that they were a one-hit wonder, the Floaters, because they looked so goofy on stage. They were in their kind of wedding band outfit circa 1977. I think that's when they had their hit, was 1977, 78. And that was their looks. They didn't last. But Katy Perry has that song, Last Friday Night, I was sitting in a... That song, she's basically singing about what a slut she was and having such a great time. Maybe had a menage a trois last Friday night. And yes, it's all tongue-in-cheek and funny. And she's wearing the retainer in the video. And Kenny G pops up in the Jonas Brothers and others. And some girl that was on the Disney Channel, I don't know. But that song, you could just go on and how's she gonna sing that when she's 75? Last Friday night, I was popping Geritol, then I took off my top, and all the kids ran down the hall. Last Friday night, I don't know just what I'm singing. I'm dating a young kid. Because it'll be a total Demi Moore thing with her. She'll be dating an Ashton Kutcher when she's old. I can just see it now. I can see clearly now. Finally, one last thing about my neighborhood. Oh, and that is my awful neighbor behind me has somehow he was gone for the longest time. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he goes. That guy. I don't even know. He disappears. And I'm so happy when he's not there because he's got this annoying dog that will bark this horrible, high-pitched, scary sound. I would play it for you, but you don't want to hear it. And he was gone for the longest time, and the dog was gone too. And the last time, I think I told you that I remember him being home, he was screaming, just shrieking loud. And I think he's from Russia or something, so I don't know if Putin called him up and was yelling at him or what was going on, but wow, he's loud. And I noticed this morning that he's back, so that's great news. And finally about my neighborhood, Nate Miley Nate Miley is my, I guess, local politician person. And I left a nasty message on his phone. Actually, I tried to leave it on his phone machine, but the way his phone system is, I ended up leaving it on some other department's phone message. I said, please forward this to Nate Miley. You've got to put speed bumps on my street. You've got to. There was an accident I told you about earlier in the week about how somebody went right through the stop sign and caused an accident. Someone had to veer to miss that person and ran into my neighbor's daughter's car, destroyed the bumper, destroyed the car. And just, Nate Miley, you've got to put speed bumps on my street. People get away, and it is so freaking dangerous, my street, because of the, it gets narrow. It turns into a tiny little narrow part, and there's no sidewalk. And I'm going to post a picture of these poppies. What do you think about that? That's good. Very springtimey. So we'll put that post that picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Zipping through the news real quickly, because we don't have much time. We're pressed for time. We're going to do it live. The U.S. will not pay over 25% of UN peacekeeping anymore. The United States will no longer shoulder more than a quarter of the multi-billion-dollar costs of the United Nations peacekeeping operations. That's Nikki Haley broke that news. In the days and weeks following the February 14th shooting at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, the NRA's donations to the NRA spiked, because that's how the NRA slime. Ugh. President Trump's approval ratings are rising, driven by a roaring economy that has dulled the effects of the White House swarmed by controversies. Republicans remain panicked over their prospects in 2018, but they're worried about the GOP losing their majority in the House. Yet, even as those fears grow, Trump's numbers are getting better. Then there's also, speaking of Trump, Donald Trump's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, who hosts a show that actually one of the radio stations I work for carries. And he does this this is what he sounded like during the Obama years. Obama said this. We got to get him impeached. Sign my petition now online. And now he's one of Trump's lawyers, which, to what I think, Jay Sekulow, enjoy it while it lasts. You know you're the next to... He fires everyone. Trump fires everyone. His reality show has carried on into the White House, as you know, and he's going to fire...
But all my life, I've heard that decisions are much different when you sit behind the desk in the Oval Office. In other words, when you're president of the United States.
And then he said to Jay Sekulow,
"You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired."
No, I don't know if that's going to be. But since the resignation last week of John Dowd, who was another lawyer Donald Trump had, that Sekulow has taken on negotiations with Mueller over the parameters of any questioning. Dowd was firmly opposed to having Trump sit for an interview with Mueller, Robert Mueller, conducting the investigation about Trump and his ties to Russia. And Dowd was firmly opposed to Trump sitting down for an interview with Mueller, while Sekulow has been more open to continuing negotiations before making a determination about whether one should take place. While Dowd has taken the lead in communications with Mueller, Sekulow was involved in previous conversations and played a large role behind the scenes. And somehow he's able to continue doing a national daily public radio show. National daily radio show. Wait, that's right. So, I don't know how that's going. Speaking of public radio, which is something Jay Sekulow would never be on, but NPR radio stations. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Castro Valley. NPR, man. On the way into work, I hear one of these. So, in our constant quest to help bring you great music and help bands that are unsigned, we play you now. This is part of our Slingshot series. This is a band from Austin. Bring, I miss my baby. That's what I hear on NPR. Oh my God, NPR, would you just get out of the music business, please? You pick the crappiest bands, crappiest musicians. Stop. By the way, as we wrap up the show, or are we starting the show? I can't remember. I got a email, or is it an email, from someone who wants me to interview a band, two country musicians. Now, I don't know how this happened, but they want me to interview a country musician. Now, I'm going to play you a little bit of them. If you want me to interview them, I will get back to them. If you like the way this song sounds, tell me, and I will interview this artist. I'm not going to say their name, but let's play a little bit of them, if this will play. I guess their website doesn't work. All right, should I interview that guy? Or should I interview this woman? Let me know, because it's up to you to tell me if should I interview this woman? Oh wow, she's hot.
Have you ever had a night that blows your mind? One that goes down in history. One that takes a turn around a bend you didn't see.
All right, I'm thinking no. If you think I should, please call me 336-MM-DAILY or email me MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, or you can comment on any of the social media that you can find. I have links to all that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, and your weekend. I will not be back, for tomorrow is the Good Friday, and I am off, and I'm going to be going down to Monterey with the wonderful Basile the Boxer. So I gotta go down there and do that and see some people and friends and enjoy the sunset at Carmel Beach. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow, and Saturday's gonna be busy as well. Maybe a super secret Sunday show. Well, we'll find out. And hopefully, if that doesn't happen, we'll be back next week. So thank you for stopping by Cafe anyway, and we will have hopefully a great Easter. Shall we? Let's have a great Easter together. Or you have the Easter, and do your Easter, and I'll do my Easter. Or we can do it together. Maybe like a Mike excursion. What about that, huh? Special Easter day. I'll bring the Easter bunny. Oh, he's here bouncing around outside of Cafe anyway. What a cute little guy. Look at all the beautiful flowers. Looking so Eastery. Aww.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah, it's awesome. Happy Easter!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!